Welcome to your shared news recap. We are breaking down the biggest stories in pop culture. Today, I'm super excited to be joined today by the lovely Gianna Gravelisi. Hi, Gianna. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, Morgan. We have so much to talk about today. I mean, I feel like I say this every week, but I have a headache. There's so much going on, so much to keep up with. So we just got to dive in.
There really has been a lot of tea spilled today. Everything from the Kardashians to Taylor Swift and Drake to the Revolve Festival. We're going to get into all of it. But before we do, if you're joining us for the first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel, ring the bell so you don't miss out on any updates. You can also leave us some comments. We could do a little question and answer at the end if you want to dig deeper into any of the topics that we discussed today. But we're going to start with, the first family of reality TV. The Kardashians have been everywhere the past couple of months, but they are in court with Blac Chyna at the moment. Jury selection did not exactly go smoothly yesterday, so let's give this a quick recap. Blac Chyna is taking the Kardashians, specifically Kim, Rob, and Chris, to court for allegedly torpedoing their spinoff show, Rob and Chyna, because of a personal vendetta against her. This is what Blac Chyna is saying. She's seeking more than $40 million for loss of earning damages and more than 60 million in loss of future earning capacity damages. I know this is a very complex situation. Obviously, any legal matter is, but face value, Gianna, do you think that Chyna has any case against the Kardashians?
Morgan, obviously I am not a lawyer. I did not go to law school, so I don't know the ins and outs or specific terms or how anything works. But just based off of what you told me and what we know for sure, I do not think that Blac Chyna has a case against the Kardashians. I mean, Rob and Chyna, the show itself, was not really that popular. It didn't really take off on its own. And let's point out the obvious here, their relationship did not work out. It was toxic, it was horrible. So why would they have continued a show about that and kept on going? And I don't think they would have even made earnings from it at all. I think people were kind of even sick of seeing them and hearing about them in the media after a while. So how is it the Kardashians' fault? And it's also complex because how is she going to sue Rob for a show that they did together? Because wouldn't half of the earnings she got from suing them go to him anyway? So it's like, what's even the point of suing them? I think that this is a very thirsty and pathetic move, honestly, on her end. So I don't think it's going to be a valid case. And if we know this family, we know that, quote unquote, they will burn people to the ground and do whatever it takes to win. So I don't see Blac Chyna getting away with any of this.
Yeah, obviously, there's still a lot to unpack and it will continue to unravel in the days ahead. But jury selection began yesterday and it did not go very well. Kim and Chloe were there with Chris and Kylie. They were all present and accounted for in the courtroom. It didn't start out very well because the jurors were asked if they've seen any of the Kardashian shows because you have to have an unbiased jury. And then one potential male juror, said to be in his 50s or 60s, said, I haven't seen the show, but I have watched Kim Kardashian's sex tape, and I don't think I can be impartial on this case. According to reports in the media, the rest of the jurors started to laugh. The Kardashians were visibly annoyed by the comment. Kim kept her composure. Chloe was the one who looked most visibly annoyed. Chris was shaking her head. This is a courtroom drawing. So, Gianna, just thoughts on that comment. Do you really think that that's necessary? I mean, I think it's a total jerk move.
I did think it was a jerk move, but for some reason, I'm also thinking that it is kind of hysterical because, it's kind of the truth. Like, he really did have to say that he's seen it because technically he had some sort of opinion by watching this tape on Kim specifically. Do I think it was a necessary comment to make? No. Do I think it was a little funny? I really do. I just think it's kind of comedic content right there. But in terms of for the way Kim probably felt about it, the first whole episode of this new Hulu series was based on that potential second sex tape that she had or did not have, that whole situation. So that kind of uprooted the whole tape issue that we thought was put to bed years and years ago. So after that first episode, this the possible second tape has been in the headlines once again. And I think that when Kim heard that guy make that comment, she's probably thinking, why can't I just like finally escape this for once? Like, why do I have to live with this mistake? Even though I feel bad that she calls it a mistake. Like, she even acknowledged she shouldn't even be ashamed. It is what it is. She was young. She was being stupid. And so many people have probably done that with their significant other. But yeah, I think for someone to say this in a court when it's supposed to be a serious situation is a little unprofessional. So I do feel bad that Kim has to deal with the weight of the tape to this day still.
Well, thankfully, he's not going to be a juror anymore because obviously he does not have an unbiased opinion. Something I found really interesting from all the reports that came out today about the jury selection is that Rob, one of the main people named in this lawsuit, not there. And I mean, we've barely seen Rob at all the past couple of years. He does not like to be on camera, but at this point, this is a legal matter that really does involve Rob. And I don't want to say that it's Rob's fault necessarily, because obviously their relationship, who could have predicted it would have been as volatile as it is. But I mean, had he never dated Chyna, they wouldn't be in this situation to begin with. So, I mean, why do you think Rob wasn't there? Do you think that he has a responsibility to be there?
I just feel like he's sick of her at the end of the day. They've been through so much together. He's probably so tired of it. And he probably wanted absolutely just nothing to do with this case because at the end of the day, like we said, we know that there probably won't even be a case coming out of this. So he probably knew that going in and was just like, I am not going. I'm not dealing with it. Don't want to talk to her. Don't want to see her. It is what it is. It is a little unfair to leave her sister, his sisters and his mom up to fight for him at the end of the day, essentially. But if this case continues, he has to be there. But I feel like his absence was just because he doesn't feel like dealing with the situation, to be honest with you, which I don't even blame him at the end of the day.
Yeah, and one of our viewers chiming in 100 million. Wow, good luck. Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty perfectly. Good luck to Blac Chyna and getting that 100 million. Let's move on to some other Kardashian news. Fans have dug up an old post that is a little awkward to say the least. Kim Kardashian and Ariana Grande once exchanged Pete Davidson lyrics online. Now, we all know that Pete was once upon a time engaged to the singer Ariana Grande, and he is now with Kim. This post was put up on Instagram by comments by celebs. They posted this throwback photo of Kim in 2018. It was her getting into a car. You only saw the backside, but she captioned it, "Universe must have had my back." Ariana Grande also commented on the photo that said, "Fell from the sky into my lap," which are both lyrics from Ariana Grande's song, Pete Davidson. I mean, what are the chances? How awkward is this? And why are people going back to 2018 to find this photo?
I think it's so funny. Morgan, I'm going to be so candid with you right now. One time I was bored, so I went all the way down on Kylie Jenner's Instagram just to dig up her very first photo ever and see if she archived anything. So I think someone was just bored one day. They were scrolling through the gram on Kim's, creeping years past, and found this connection, which I think it is crazy irony. Like, this is just a massive coincidence. It is hysterical. It's so funny. First of all, I'm obsessed with Ariana Grande. She's my girl. And I love the song Pete Davidson. And I think it's just funny that it's still like it comes up on my Spotify. And I'm just like, oops, like that's not a thing anymore. Um, so yeah, like those are the lyrics back to back in the song. And we also know that the Kardashians are big Ariana fans themselves. Courtney was Ariana for Halloween. Kim, I'm sure, was just gifted her REM beauty package for PR and stuff. So I think that this was just like a funny little like, oh, like those are my lyrics. Here's the rest of the lyrics type of thing. And look where we're at now. Like, there's nothing that we can really say about it. Now, a lot of headlines are saying how Kim planned on stealing Pete Davidson from Ariana Grande. No, that is not what happened here. Again, this is just a totally ironic, crazy, coincidental situation. It is not like Kim was sitting there while she was married to Kanye West plotting how she was going to end the engagement between Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande and steal Pete years later. That is just not something that I can see Kim wasting her energy on. So I think that this is just a really funny coincidence.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, she was married to Kanye West at the time. And I mean, Ariana Grande is now married to somebody else. So I feel like all of it is just water under the bridge. But like you said, extreme irony to say the least. And I mean, good on Pete Davidson having two of the hottest women in Hollywood like on your girlfriend's list. I mean, it must be really nice to be Pete Davidson. You guys want to take a quick second to remind you that you can leave questions and comments. We might get to them at the end. So if you have anything that you want to add to the conversation, please feel free to do so. We're going to move on from Ariana Grande to two other huge iconic artists. Drake and Taylor Swift are causing a frenzy online. Anytime anything on the internet happens with Taylor Swift, it just blows up. So I'm really not surprised at all. But it all started when Drake posted this throwback photo of Taylor Swift in an Instagram carousel. It was the last of 5 pictures. It also featured photos of his 4-year-old son, Adonis, throwing up a peace sign, and then Drake posing in front of a beach sunset. Now, the caption of this photo says, "They too soft to understand the meaning of hard work." What did you think when you first saw this photo of Taylor and Drake? Because the Swifties has some theories on it.
So I'm not like a big Drake fan. I do love some of his songs, but I don't keep up with him. So when I saw this post, I was like, I didn't know it was a throwback. So first of all, I was just like, are Drake and Taylor like dating? Like, I thought she had a boyfriend. Like, what is going on right now? Like, this is like a duo I never saw coming. And then I'm like, no, there's no way. My second thought was, okay, do they have a song that I don't know about that they released together and I'm just stupid and I missed that at some point in this life? And then I'm like, no, there's no way. So my final thought was, again, not knowing that this was a throwback, like, are they working on an album or a song or something together? Was she featured in a music video? Like, I was just trying to figure out what possible product was existing or is going to be existing from this moment right here, because I'm just confused. Because I'm like, Taylor doesn't have a song with Drake. Drake doesn't have a song with Taylor. Like, what was going on here? Like, are they besties and we just don't know it? I mean, I'm still confused. I have a lot of thoughts as well.
And the internet has a lot of thoughts. Obviously, we know that Taylor Swift is in the process of re releasing all of her previous albums. She is re recording them all so that she owns the masters to her own music, and she's releasing them as Taylor's version. So far, she's done Fearless, she's done Red, and fans think that this photo could mean that the next re release is going to be her album 1989. One fan commented and said he posted this as the 5th photo. 1989 is her 5th album, and she has a 1989 era haircut. I mean, Swifties really don't miss a beat. They're looking and analyzing her haircut. I mean, do you think that they're onto something here, that 1989 might be the next to be released and there will be a collaboration with Drake on the album?
So I have always thought that these fan theories are absolutely nuts, but fans really are I mean, especially Swifties, they are superb at picking up her little hints. And Taylor does leave little hints. Now, I can't think of
Mhm.
exactly what specifically, but she did drop hints in the for the re-release of Red, Taylor's version. I believe she uploaded some sort of video that had secret numbers in them or secret words or phrases, and Swifties predicted the release date of Red or whatever, whenever what was happening. So I can totally see Taylor doing this again. And this is so sneaky because she roped Drake into it. So that would be so amazing if her and him were together on an album, because, she used to be country, now she's more pop, and Drake is rap. Like it's two totally different like elements of music coming together, and I think it would be such a perfect pairing. And it's clear as day. Like I don't know why else he would release this, because again, I don't think they'd be together unless they were working on something. Like I don't think they're friends that just hang out. I don't know what else this could be from. They had to have been working on something. So if this is for 1989, I'd be down for it. Now, I'm not the biggest Swiftie. No one come at me. I don't know the specific songs off of this album. So I don't know what song Drake could potentially be featured on, or if she's just going to add a rap verse or something on one of the songs, or what's happening. But I'm here for it at the end of the day. I'm down. I'm not mad at it.
Absolutely. I mean, I am not an overly, I'm not a Swiftie too. I do love Taylor Swift and I enjoy her music, but I cannot remember, off the top of my head right now what album Bad Blood was on. But, she has worked with artists like Kendrick Lamar in the past. So if it was 1989, I feel like Drake could easily come into that era and drop a collab. Look, anything that is posted on behalf of Taylor Swift online is no accident. She is so I can't, the word is escaping me, but she plans everything out to a T. Like you said, she leaves a lot of Easter eggs for her fans. So listen, if you're watching right now and you're a Swiftie, you know something that Gianna and I don't know, please let us know in the comments and we will get to it at the end if we do a Q&A. Gianna, is there any other artist that you really would love to see Taylor Swift collab with?
Ooh, well, I just love Justin Bieber, period. So I always am just like, yes, can you guys collab on something immediately? Um, I'm interested for Taylor to do like something with Calvin Harris, like a remix sort of thing, or Dua Lipa, to get into sort of that like techno side of music, because that's the music that I love listening to. Or even like Shania Twain, who just collabed with Harry Styles at Coachella. Like I feel like
Yes.
that's the start of Shania Twain's comeback, and I can totally see her working with Taylor because they're both, again, country pop ish artists. And I just feel like any woman ever, because Taylor is such like a powerful presence, and like she's all for us being a strong, powerful woman. I could see her working with truly anybody. I mean, she's magical. She makes great music. So feel like she could really work well with whoever she would want to work with.
I just have to say, and I know that, well, I don't want to never say never, but truly, I feel like it would break the internet if she came out with a collaboration with Kanye West. I mean, nobody would ever see that coming. I feel like it would go straight to number one because of the shock factor. I mean, especially now that Kim and Kanye are no longer together. And, that whole issue between them had to do with also Kim kind of having Kanye's back and leaking the audio. So I don't know. That's just my conspiracy theory. Crystal is letting us know that it was 1989 that Kendrick Lamar was on. So I feel like Swifties could be onto something here. Let's move on to another pop singer, Camila Cabello. She's coming clean about why she auditioned for the X Factor. This is hilarious and I feel like definitely relatable. So Camila was on Carpool Karaoke with James Corden, where she confesses she auditioned for the X Factor in 2012 in hopes that Harry Styles would fall in love with her. She told James Corden, well, One Direction will be at X Factor. I don't know if they'll be at The Voice, so let me audition for X Factor. She literally said that she was auditioning for the show because she wanted to marry Harry Styles. Would we ship in another life Camila Cabello and Harry Styles together?
Wow. I mean, I would ship them if they really met in that way, via the show. That would be absolutely hysterical. But in terms of right now, would I ship them? I mean, obviously not. Harry is in a relationship and Camila Cabello just got out of a relationship. Um, and I think I'm here for Camila's single era. Like I really think that
Yes.
she needs to just be single for a little bit. She needs to deliver the bops. I want to see her out partying and stuff. And Harry has so much on his plate right now. I mean, he was just on tour. He just was at Coachella. Like so many things. But I don't know if their personalities necessarily match. I know they say opposites attract, but these two are such different people. Like, I just can't see it happening. And I don't know if it's because I'm still stuck on Camila and Sean because I thought they were adorable together. I thought that they were like a match made in heaven. But
Mhm.
I think I can see Camila Cabello and Harry Styles being best friends. Like, that's the vibe their two personalities give me for some reason. So I don't know if I'd ship them romantically necessarily. And I'm just being selfish because I love Harry Styles and I want him all to myself as well.
I love Harry Styles too. I told my now fiance that if I were to have a hall pass, it would be Harry Styles and he was just going to have to deal with it. Thankfully for him, I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't ever think I'll be in the same room as Harry Styles, but never say never. You know, another interesting thing that came out of this interview is that she traveled to North Carolina for the X Factor audition, only to be told by producers that she was not allowed to audition. And Simon Cowell, one of the judges, actually saw Camila crying backstage during his cigarette break and offered her a chance to perform in front of him and the other judges. I think that's a really inspiring story, you know, because we hear it all the time. Life doesn't always go the way that you think it will or your expectations, but what is meant for you will always find you. I mean, Gianna, you and I have even talked about this in our, career path is that it doesn't always feel like it goes the way that it's supposed to. But I really thought that, her kind of being discovered on a whim by Simon Cowell, who found her crying in the corner. Like that teaches you really not to give up because what is meant for you will always find you.
I love that you just said that because as you said, like we do talk about this all the time. Like it's like you're always thinking and not even just our careers. I mean any career out there. It's
Mhm.
hard to feel stuck and you never know if you're doing the right thing, the wrong thing. You kind of feel like you're on this hamster wheel of life. Um and the fact that that happened to her, first of all, I had no idea that that was even a thing. That's shocking to hear and I'm wondering the reason why producers told her she couldn't. I mean, these shows are so intricate, right? It's not like you just go on the X Factor and then you're like, hey, I want to audition. And they're like, sure, come one, come all. Everyone just wait in one big line. They can even lead you on and be like, okay, you're going to audition, you're going to audition. And then producers can be like, actually, never mind, type of thing. So I want to know like what their motive was behind telling her no. Like, it's kind of crazy that that happened. But yeah, I think that this, like you said, Morgan, is really, really inspiring. Um, and it does show not to give up. And a lot of successful people will have a crazy story of how they made it. So I'm glad that we finally got to hear hers.
Absolutely. I love Camila. I mean, she's at the top of her game. She just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think the sky is the limit for her. So I love that she shared that story. I love that she shared that she was obsessed with Harry Styles in 2012, like the rest of us were and still are. I just want to remind you if you're watching right now, you can leave a question or a comment. We might have time to get to it at the end. So if you have any thoughts on any topic that we talk about today, please feel free to leave a comment. We're going to wrap things up by talking about the Revolve Festival because apparently it was a hot mess. It has been all over our TikTok feed, our Instagram feeds. So, in case you missed it, influencers who attended the Revolve Festival April 16th and 17th spoke out on social media about the challenges they faced getting transportation, food, water, and other essentials while they were there. We'll get to Revolve's statement at first, but essentially what happened was the buses, the transportation system, didn't end up picking everybody up to go to the Revolve Festival. People were waiting in line for hours. They didn't have any food or water. I mean, Gianna, what did you think of the influencers telling their stories about Revolve Festival and then comparing it to the infamous Fyre Festival?
Oh, these poor influencers that probably got paid to wear these outfits and go to this festival that are now facing these gruesome challenges of waiting. Like, I don't feel bad for them. Sure, should people be without food and transportation and water? Absolutely not. But like, I'm sorry, you're all complaining that your biggest worry was, oh, we didn't get on the bus to go to the festival. Like, I was out here working this weekend and grinding and wondering how I'm gonna make a car payment. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't feel bad for you. Um, and not for nothing, we had Fyre Festival. We had that whole event happen. We had a whole documentary about it. We know the information. We knew the red flags. This festival must have had every red flag that Fyre Festival had. Like, I'm sorry, after Fyre Festival, if I were an influencer, I would not go to a single random festival put on by like not a credible company ever after that. Like, truly ever. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you should have gone to Coachella instead. They were happening at the same time. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because Revolve Festival was a pretty well-known festival. You know, it's been happening for years. Obviously, it took a break during the pandemic, but I felt like they never had this, level of difficulty, I guess. I feel like the influencers who are comparing it to Fire Festival are kind of off base because, Fire Festival they were sleeping in disaster relief tents like when really in Revolve Festival, you just couldn't get on the bus to go to the festival and it was hot and you waited in line for 3 hours and that was the end of it. But here is Revolve's statement about it all to E! News. It's long, so just bear with me. They said, in anticipation of the high level of interest in attending Revolve Festival this year, Revolve worked closely with all appropriate city and safety authorities to ensure a safe and secure path for guests to access the 2-day invitation only event. With an event of this magnitude, city regulation mandate an offsite location for guest check-in and parking, as well as licensed shuttle transportation to and from the venue. The offsite lot was set up with guest parking as well as rideshare drop-off and pickup access with added Wi-Fi for car booking, restrooms, shade, water, medics, and security. Okay, that's the first part. Second part. As the festival was reaching capacity late Saturday afternoon, shuttle access to the venue was limited in order to remain in compliance with safety requirements, causing longer wait times for entry and resulting in some guests not being able to attend the festival. The safety of our guests is of the utmost importance to us, and we will always make that a priority. They close it out by saying, "We sincerely apologize to all the guests who were impacted. We always strive to provide a great experience and we promise to do better." Whew, like I said, it was a long one. I mean, thoughts on this statement? They're basically saying, look, we had too many people there. The transportation system sucked. We kind of ran out of buses, and that is what it is. Who do you think is to blame for this?
As much as I don't feel bad for the influencers that are crying over this, I do think it is Revolve's fault. Like, you should have anticipated a major, major event with a huge crowd. I mean, the festival's happening for the first time in years after COVID. I feel like any event now that's happening should just like people should just assume that it's going to be bananas because everyone's like dying to finally get to a festival, a concert, an event, a sports game. Like, people are literally getting to finally have a little bit of normalcy. And like, we should just definitely, they should have anticipated really high magnitudes of crowds. So the fact that they literally like were over capacity is baffling to me. Like, you're Revolve, okay? If you've had this festival before, like, just I don't know. I think it's their fault. They should have just planned better. It sounds like they tried to plan, but they were
Mhm.
like just under the mark, and that's just unacceptable. Like, it's how can you have these other festivals go on and everyone's fine, but then like this happens and it's like it's not good for anybody. So yeah, I think it
Yeah.
is definitely Revolve's fault, but it's also the influencer's fault. Do your research. Fire Festival was a thing. Yeah, I don't trust any festivals. Like I said, if anything's Revolve Festival, Fire Festival, just don't go to the festival. Don't do it.
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't been to a festival in a long time, but I used to go to Lollapalooza like every year. And yes, it was so much fun, don't get me wrong. But these things always look more fun on social media than they actually are. And I feel like this Revolve Festival is just such a poster picture perfect moment of that. You see all these influencers dressed up and they look like they're having the time of their life at this influencer event, and we think, oh well, we're just peasants, why can't we go to the Revolve Festival? It's not always as fun and glamorous as it looks. So be thankful that you weren't there this year. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining our live today. I feel like we discussed so much tea, and I can't wait to follow up on all of these stories: Blac Chyna versus the Kardashians, Taylor Swift and Drake, what's going to come next. Make sure you follow us on our social media pages. You can come say hi to Gianna and myself. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram. Our handles are on the screen right now. And before you leave the live, please be sure to ring the bell, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our future lives. We love having you guys here on Shared News, and we will see you back here next time. Gianna, I'll see you later, and thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye.